Okay, so last class we discussed about geographical indications, and you know that geographical indication establish product, place, link. Okay, so I also told you that this can be used as a potential tool for socio-economical development, considering the product of a particular region. So today I will discuss about economics of geographical indications, that how geographical indication can be used as a potential intellectual property, or you can consider as a tool for say economical development of a region or territory. And I told you that product based microeconomical development, product based microeconomical development, product based microeconomical economical development. And I will show you some case studies to support my hypothesis. Okay. So now the geographical indication, when we are discussing about it, I told you that it is a public right. So the community rights, so it will benefit the community instead of individual, and ultimately the members of the societies will also get returned as being a producers with reference to that. Okay, so generally let us say before starting to direct economics, I will refer that geographical indication, just like a trademark, registration is not compulsory, but registration give the better protection, because registration certificate give the evidence of ownership. Okay. So now who can register the geographical indication in India? Producers or any organization claiming to who protect the interest of the producers. So he should protect the interest of the producer, just like say a society formed by the producers, or some government body, or some NGO which will protect the interest of the producers of that particular goods or particular geographical indication. They can also register the that geographical indication. It is better if the producers association register that. Okay. So if producer also not able to form the associations, then may government may also facilitate, just like say PFC, patent facilitating centers of state in respect of West Bengal, they are facilitating with reference to the registration of geographical indication in West Bengal. Similarly, Odisha Department of Textiles, they are facilitating the registration of geographical indication with reference to textile part. So or different way, few cases maybe NGO is actively involved in that part registration. Few cases definitely producers form the associations, and it is registered on the name of the association, and subsequently thus in the part B registration, the producers as an individual can registers their name as a authorized users with reference to the particular GI. So here understood two part A and part B registration. Part A owner, part B authorized user. Okay. So part A, part B registration. Also when the owners is registering for a particular geographical indication, he may have to give the name of few producers, which name of producers, and subsequently the producer will also come by part B registration as authorized users. Okay. So that way the registration part, and registration formalities, let us mention that he has to create an indication just like say mark. What type of indication can be registrable, that has been specified in the act, or just like say place names or non geographical names, just like if any I referred that part. Again, along with that, he has to provide these important parameters. He has to provide the uniqueness of the product, just like say I told you, uniqueness of the product. Okay, just like it is with reference to some characteristics or some attributes of a product. Okay, so you have to refer that how what is the uniqueness, what characteristics is providing uniqueness of that product with reference to the skill, with reference to the pattern, with reference to the material, with reference to the processing. So, definitely this uniqueness is definitely required some sorts of thought process. Just like if I want to separate out Odisha Ikot from Pachampally Ikot, then what are the characteristics I will specify with reference to the Odisha Ikot that will ultimately separate Odisha Ikot from the Pachampally Ikot. So, there lies the role of uniqueness of the product. Okay. So, this may come already referred that it responds to raw material, which raw material you are using. Okay. So, technicality is involved, the processing routes, skill, knowledge, then it is reflecting based on a pattern. Okay. It may reflect some pattern. Okay. Patterns. The skill is reflected means of pattern. So, objectivity you are trying to put it the skill. Okay. Then, so uniqueness, then you have to give the if it is with reference to based on say subjectively verifiable criteria, means agroclimatic condition, soil condition, you should give that particular place latitude, longitude. Okay. Just like to provide a some objective criteria with reference to that agroclimatic and soil condition. Definitely you give the soil condition, agroclimatic condition, and also link it with say latitude, longitude of that particular place, it will be better. Okay. So, uniqueness, then with reference to then location, agroclimatic condition. If it is with reference to the skill or knowledge or traditional skill or knowledge, then you have to give that a historical background. Historical background, you have to provide a historical background, because you have to establish that uniqueness has been originated in that particular place, because product place link. Okay. So, you have to establish a historical background. Okay. Why, where, how it has been originated in that area, how long the people have been practicing this art or cultures. That part will be reflected in the historical background. Then you have to provide a geographical map of that map will linked that okay in Odisha district, Odisha which are the districts, or within the district which are the territory is within the purview of that GI. Okay. So, you have to provide a map. So, the only geographical indications will be restricted to that to the point or mark wherever you are putting in the whatever the territory or region you are putting in the map. So, geographical indications will be restricted to that region or territory. So, producer of that territory will get the rights or privilege whatever you tell with reference to the geographical indications. Okay. But he has to be authorized user. Okay. If you are also putting that map, so any persons from that localities will be treated as producers, but he has to ultimately register as a authorized users. If you not register as authorized user, he will not be allowed to trade with reference to the goods produced in that locality using that geographical indications. Okay. So, the important parameters you are understanding that uniqueness, the technicalities, historical background, research with reference to the historical background. Okay. Then map, how you linked that, how you restrict the area, whether you will go for larger area, will go for small area, both has pros and cons with reference to geographical indication. That part also have to be thought about. Okay. So, I just given you an overview with reference to the registration of geographical indication, who can register, how to register, but what is the content of his GI applications. So, GI application content specifically you refer the indications. Okay. Goods, with which class it will be, then uniqueness of the product or goods, then historical backgrounds, then map of which is restrict map, the area restricting the geographic indication that has to be specified. Okay, then it will be registered in the geographical indication registries only in Chennai for India. Okay. So, then it will be also they will examine it, they may call for a hearing, they will okay, I forgot to mention in that application form you have to mention the expert, you have to constitute an expert body who will ultimately judge with reference to uniqueness and on product based link based on the historical backgrounds, and you have to provide the evidences of historical background. Then that is also an important part of an economist or say historians, so that they have to go and survey based on survey in that particular region, have to collect the evidences with reference to the product place links. They may go for interviews of the age old people and may collect the evidences from the houses of those age old people, the old people of that localities. So, this is also an important parameters, important task for a social economical surveys. So, that is a also help to work in a grassroots level. Okay. So, that expert body, so that I want to know they have to apply, they will examine, then may call for hearing the expert in presence of expert body, they will judge the uniqueness, then the product place links and with reference to territory and others. In that hearing you may call the producers also, they may demonstrate their product in front of the expert committee to prove the uniqueness, to prove the historical backgrounds of that product. Okay. Then ultimately they will accept. Then again just like a trademark, it will go for oppositions. Any persons can oppose the registration of that geographic indications. Okay. Different grounds. Okay. Then it will be registered for this is the completion of Part B registration 10 years and can be renewed. Then Part B registration subsequently after Part A registration, Part B registration for registration of the authorized users. Okay. So, these are the nut and shell with reference to registration procedure of geographic indication in India. Okay. So, although this module is for economics, but how to create rights if you do not know, then what is the economics behind that. Okay. So, now economics of protection, why that I told you that every IP is specifically linked with the economy and GI more directly. Okay. So, economics of protection, let us say different theories economics sometime apply with reference to geographical indication, just like information theory. Transaction cost for consumer to make informed buying decisions could rise significantly. So, just like a GI product, okay, informed buying. So, just like Darjeeling tea is giving a logo or Darjeeling tea names on that product. So, informed buying, information theory, just information, transaction cost for consumer to make informed buying decision could rise significantly. If information is not provided with reference to that good, the cost of buying may increase. So, if you provide the indication, then information with reference to quality is provided to the product. So, then may lead to the reduction of the transaction cost. So, information asymmetry lead to the increase of transaction cost, information symmetry may lead to the decrease in transaction cost. So, GI somehow try to provide information symmetry. So, you may consider try to reduce the transaction cost. Okay. So, information theory, then reputation theory. Okay. Just like GI prevent market distortion in case of asymmetry of same thing between the producers and consumers. Okay. So, market distortion means by providing the symmetry information, they are trying to harmonize the market with reference to GI product. Okay. So, GI prevent the consequences of such asymmetry of information on the level of output quality, that OECD report, I have taken it from OECD report. So, GI prevent consequences of such asymmetry of information. Okay, GI right holder, if somebody try to misrepresent or try to confuse, then immediately they will try to enforce their rights. So, ultimately that lead to the prevention with reference to the asymmetry of information. Just like say I am giving the example, let us say Darjeeling tea. Now, let us say New Year, a particular company, they are trying to sell tea naming at New York Darjeeling tea. Okay. So, definitely that lead to the maybe asymmetry of informations, because people may be confused that whether it is New York Darjeeling tea and Darjeeling tea both are same, or there is some likelihood of association between the two product. Okay. Though that may lead to the asymmetry of information. So, in that case GI right holder have to immediately exercise their right, then they will ultimately enforce their right and try to prevent that asymmetry of informations. Okay. So, that if you do not provide a GI right to the owners, then that asymmetry will ultimately increase the gap between the producers and consumers, and that may lead to the market maybe failures also in long run. Okay. So, that way reputations associated with that GI, I told you reputations or character associated with the GI, that is advantageous. So, reputation theory can be applicable for GI. So, information theory, reputation theory. So, reputation can overcome the market failure associated with the asymmetry of information, correct. According to Schaferio, reputation embodies expected quality in the okay. So, that embodies expected quality in that individuals extrapolate past behavior to make inferences about likely future behaviors. That is Schaferio, and I can try to create a model on that part. Okay. So, that reputation theory, information theory of economist, just like just a brief I am referring, that can be applicable. So, then I think just like economists try to define the goods in different ways, just like search good, experience goods and cadence goods. Okay. Just like these are the goods where the consumer develop a robust notion of quality prior to purchase, though either inspection or research. Experience goods, these are the goods where quality is known, though use and experience, which then guide future consumer decisions. Okay. Credence good, these are the goods where neither prior inspection or nor consequent use is sufficient for developing robust notions of qualities. Okay. Just like say with just search good, you have to do a search or inspection, research or inspection, just like we should call market research. Sometime we try to do market research. Why? Market research with reference to the goods, which goods will be, I want to procure some goods, then I should go for a market research, and either or sometime inspect a particular stores. Okay. Then we make a purchase decision. So, then experience good, if some if I already experienced with the goods, just like say consider I am using a LG TV, then I am experiencing that LG with reference to that, then I again thought about LG fridge, because I experience with reference to the particular name LG. So, that is the experience good. Okay. So, that those are the things. So, how the GI can create market market access. Okay. So, the characteristic of territory as an attribute that translate into improved market access to for product bearing a GI through the development of a suitable competitive advantage. Okay. So, that way geographic indications try to separate the goods. It's a GI goods, the Darjeeling tea having the GI, and let us say tea from consider Nilgiri tea, they do not have a GI. Okay. Or tea from Africa not have a GI, then GI related goods have some advantage compared to the goods which are not protected or not covered under the GI, because of that those theories, just like information theory or reputation theory is applied, then it will try to give that type of information. Okay. So, let us say so just like say so legal protection of GI is required to for the market for market access. It will ultimately facilitate the producers, facilitate producer to facilitate whom? Producers for market access. Why? Because all those things, just like reputation associated with the product will give some competitive edge. Okay. And as then they try to advertise those product, and this is providing symmetry informations, so that they will get a they will get a market they will get a competitive edge compared to the others. So, I told you in the beginning of the class that the product based micro economical development, and then I will just give you a few case studies whether really how the GI have been used as a potential economical tool for European countries and China's also. Just like say I have given a case called Colombian coffee. Okay, Colombian coffee. Then I told you the uniqueness with reference to characteristics. They have to what they have considered the rich taste and aroma. It has rich taste and a particular aroma. Then that coffee, just like a Darjeeling tea, you know that we have to hand picked. The leaves we have to collect. You know that in the garden we have to collect the leaves by means of hand, using hand. So, hand picked, here also hand picked berries, soaked in the processing part. I told you that they have to uniqueness with reference to processing part, soaked in a cold mountain water for 24 hours, that is the uniqueness. Okay. Carefully washed in a long concrete trough, dried on great open terrace. So, in respect of Colombian coffee, what characteristics they have put up? Characteristic rich taste and aroma. Then in respect to processing, hand picked berries, then soaked in a cold mountain water for 24 hours, carefully washed in long concrete trough, then dried on great open terrace. So, these are the characteristics of that coffee. Then the processing characteristics of with respect to processing also they picked up. Okay. Then what happened? I told again I have to be more cautious here, and also as an engineer and technologist, you know already I referred certification mark. So, there how you properly maintain the quality of a product is important, because if you do not maintain the quality for longer period of time, ultimately you will this will lead to the erosion of your goodwill, and that lead to the dilution of your brand. So, in respect of GI, it is totally depends upon the quality, okay, or reputation quality. Reputation is embedded in the form of a qualities. So, if you do not able to maintain the qualities properly, then ultimately in futures it will not give you any encashment. Okay. So, definitely in respect of GI, just like say it is, if it is directly associated to the agroclimatic or soil condition, and that agroclimatic soil condition is reflected in the leaves. Now, the product is not directly leaves, from that leaves you are extracting tea or coffee. So, in that definitely you are using some sorts of equipments or machines or process. So, if you do not properly maintain the parameters with reference to the process, that lead to the deterioration of the quality of the product, and deterioration of the quality of the product may lead to the subsequent deterioration of the value of that particular geographical indication. So, what they have done for the region, you know that any if you work in engineering shop also, there is a term called supply chain management or supply chain integrity. How will you in different steps, how will you monitor the steps in a production plants or in a chemical plants, different steps, and so that the quality you are not compromising with reference to the product. So, supply chain integrity, supply chain management, this is the important parameters with reference to the product management, or even you consider in respect of service management also. So, what they have done supply chain management lays down rigorous quality control standards, certifies, they use a certification mark for product also. So, that way they are in maintaining the supply chain management. So, now what output has come up? Okay, so, input they register a geographical indication Colombian coffee, they are what input they are producing, they are maintaining a supply chain integrity or supply chain management they are making. Then impact, see that standard of living of more than 4 millions Colombian improved, thousands of miles of access road built onto the production area, development of health center, school, coffee tourism. Okay, see understand the product based geographical indication lead to the standard of living, lead to the economical development, lead to that social development, just like say, and then they also attract tourism also. So, these are the impact of Colombian coffee. Now, come to another part, Zhou in China. I told you European country I will take you. In the European, I told you that product and food and agriculture, food and wines, they protect by means of geographical indications, and they try to use that as a potential tool for market access and for economical development. So, similarly, that Zhou in China, that okay, just characteristics, what characteristic they have, traditional making, Zhou goes by in color, smell, taste. Then governance framework, what type of governance framework they have created, which that whether through association or other, then how they are maintaining the product or supply chain management, that part they have mentioned. Okay. In respect of others, Darjeeling tea, one important one say one or an important geographical indication in respect to India. The characteristics are vary from large widely teepee leaves, then okay, green the schooling, hand picked. These are the different process and other they have characteristics. Restricted to 87 designated tea gardens in Darjeeling districts. So, then governed by tea board, then how they have extended their right in different jurisdictions, then different jurisdictions. So, then how the registers in different countries, not only they are not relying on only geographical indication, they have go for community trademark registration, they go for certification mark registrations, okay, and they have extended their right in different jurisdictions, that international protections, not only restricted to national jurisdictions. So, try to put up a global right to access the global market, or that may be considered now global brand also. Okay. So, that way by UK they have registered by certification mark, USA certification mark, Darjeeling logo, they created a logo, they are not Darjeeling tea, the word or place name along place name with reference to that product as a GI. They also created logo for advertisement and promotions. Okay. So, this is the different way they extended the right in different jurisdiction, UK, UO, different countries. Okay. So, what I want to mention that okay, say that case studies with reference to the specific GI in different country, and that has been used as a potential tool for market access. So, geographical indications can be used as a potential tool for potential economical development tools, potential tool for economical development. Okay. So, just like here, if you try to identify a GI from a particular territory, I will suggest first go for a registration of that GI. Okay. Then try to create an associations of producers. Let as register through it will be better to register through producer associations. Then for market access, you may create an apex society, and subsequently below that you may create the societies. Just like apex society will access the market. Apex society will decide the production promotions by means of advertisement and others. Then ultimately that the income generated from that apex society will go to the subsequent society. Let us say producer is there at bottom, producer is bottom. So, producers, then below above that one producer society, then let us say apex society. Okay. Then apex society let us say linked to the market. Okay. You can use this type of mechanisms also. Now, what will happen? Producers will sell their goods maybe in the producer society. Producer society will ultimately apex society will ultimately market. Then the revenue will flow reverse. Okay. So, each producers, maybe a number of producers are there, they will also get benefited out of that. Okay. So, even the producers may directly go to the market if he is the authorized user, they can also directly go to the market. Okay. But this, if you go by this route, then supply chain integrity or supply chain management will be easier. Okay. So, this can be a potential viable tool for using our traditional knowledge, traditional skill for economical use. Okay. So, that way that let us say geographical indication and economics directly correlated. If you do not know, if you use it appropriately, it can be a viable tool for economic and socio-economical development of any country using microeconomical model. That can be the crux of this lecture.